In this episode of the Pad Bank, I talk about Vanity Metrics and my issue with Spotify's end-of-year roundup. I talk about the importance of revisiting older beats, and I review the submissions for the Flip It Challenge 197.
I made it. I made it. I made it. I produced. I made it. I made it. I produced. I cooked up.
Hello and welcome to the Pad Bank with me, Tony Brown, and this is episode number 16. So I trust you're all well. As always, I appreciate you guys logging in and joining each episode. It's good to see the community growing strong and also the increase of engagement in the community. It's good to see, just that organic growth and people engaging with one another. Yeah, man, and just that genuine community growing. So salute to the Pad Bank family. Salute to everyone who's locked in during the YouTube premiere of this episode. Big up yourselves. Pad Bank family, I've got a new addition to the setup. I don't know whether you can tell in terms of the audio quality, but I've invested in a new mixer, which at the moment I'm very happy with. So it's been up and running now since, I think it came around Tuesday, Wednesday. I done my first live stream with it on Friday. I was playing about with it again yesterday. And this is the first episode that I'm recording with the new mixer. So I got myself a little Tascam Model 12. So it's a 12 channel mixer, but it's also an audio interface. It's a controller, so it can control Logic, and it's also a multi-track recorder, so I can actually record directly into the mixer itself, which I'm not doing at the moment. I always record this straight to my computer because it's just quicker in terms of editing, but I could actually record the audio in there, which I think I might do, and test that out and see how that looks and works. But yeah, man, hopefully you can hear an improvement in the audio quality. One thing I am very happy about is I can now control all the levels with one hand. It's all here in arm's reach, where before I was just running off a Focusrite Scarlett, which just had, the mic input. It managed the sound and the audio coming from my computer, so the MPC and my browser and things like that. And then it had like one line in. So if I wanted to run, say, like the turntables, I'd have to plug that into the line and, try and level it up that way. Where this way, I've got a lot more control. And, if I want to turn things up and down, I've just got my faders right here, hands on. So, yeah, man, very, very happy about that. This is probably the last investment I'm going to make this year. So for those that have followed the journey, recently upgraded my computer. What else did I invest in? Oh, I got the monitors this year as well. I got some new monitors. Then I got the turntables and the mixer. So yeah, man, I probably spent more this year than I have in a good while. So, but listen, you have to invest, man. If you're serious about what it is you do, whether it's music production, whether it's video editing, whether it's you're a photographer, whatever. If you're serious about it, you got to invest. You know what I mean? And it's something I've always done for years. I got my first little turntable and mixer when I was 14. I've always invested in equipment. So yeah, man. Hopefully it's improving your listening and viewing experience. So I got quite a bit I want to talk about today. So enough of the waffle. Trust you all well. Thanks for joining. Let's get into it.
I made it. Produced. I cooked up.
All right. So as I record this, it is the 5th? It's actually the 6th of December. So we're wrapping up the year. This year has just been, it's gone so quick and it's been a mad one. I've never known a year like this. I'm sure all of us can share the same sentiment. This has been it's been a year like none other in my lifetime anyway. So yeah, man, we're wrapping up the year. And for those of you that are Spotify users, whether it's Spotify for artists or whether it's as a listener, you'll know that in the week, earlier this week, Spotify rolled out their summary of the year. You know what I mean? When they do that roundup. So from a listener's perspective, you know, they'll send you a sort of an overview of all your listening habits for the last year. And then they'll send you a playlist as well, made up of, you know, all your favorite tracks that you've listened to over that year. And then from a artist point of view, they'll send you basically a breakdown of all your streams, you know, how many streams you've had, which countries you were most played in, you know, which ones of your songs were the most streamed. So they'll basically send you a ton of metrics for you to look at. If you're on social media, you will see a lot of artists start posting these over the next few days, next few weeks, etc. Some of them have started doing it already. One thing I have to say is, now if you're watching the visual of this on YouTube, you'll see what's just popped up on my screen. I saw this on social media and it just resonated with me because this is the same thing, exactly the same thing I was talking about in last week's episode, which was about why I came off Spotify and them places. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not completely done with them, but as an independent artist, it's not the best place for me to be. This is just my opinion. And I spoke about why I've done that in the last episode. So if you didn't listen to that and you want to know more, go and check out episode number 15, where you hear me talk about why I dumped my online distributor and pulled all my music off these platforms. So yeah, man, this popped up. Basically, it was a spin or a twist on the image that Spotify sends you as an artist. So they'll send you like a screenshot because they want you to promote Spotify for them. So as an artist, they'll send you a little image you can use, and it'll show you, you know, it's got like the name of the artist, it's got your profile picture, it will show you how many streams you've had, and there's just, you know, a limited number of metrics on that image. And then they basically encourage you to kind of share it with your fans, share it with your fan base, push it out on social media. So someone done a twist on this and they created their own version. Now, if you're not watching and you can't see the image, basically, like I said, it's exactly the same as the image that Spotify sends out to you, but they've flipped it and they've replaced the artist profile with the Spotify logo, and it says, "Thanks for an amazing year, suckers." So basically, it's like Spotify, you know, talking to the artist, and in the metric side of it, it says revenue for 2020, 1.37 billion. So basically, that's how much revenue Spotify has generated in 2020, 1.7 billion. And then it says average per stream royalty, and it's got 0.0032 cents, which again, that's what I was talking about last episode. So that's how much you will get per stream. Yeah. And then at the bottom it says plays needed to earn minimum wage. So I don't know about where you are, but here in the UK, the minimum wage it's gone up this year to £8.74 an hour. So that's your minimum wage. So the minimum plays for you to earn a minimum wage, you would need 1,117,000 streams. So basically, like just under 1.2 million streams you would need to earn minimum wage. So you work that out, yeah? £8.74 an hour, right? If you work the average full-time job, 37 hours a week, times that by 52 weeks a year, you're basically earning £16,500 a year, or £1,300 a month. £1,300 a month. Now, I don't know about where you live. I don't know about your outgoings. I don't know about your financial obligations, but I could not survive off that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm fully aware that musicians need and have the sensible ones and the more mature ones, they have multiple streams of revenue. So what they would earn off streaming is not their only source of revenue. I'm fully conscious of that. The other thing I'm fully conscious of is the amount of time, effort, energy, and investment required to get 1.2 million streams. You know how much work you would have to do in terms of, the marketing side of it. As an independent artist, the amount of time you would need to put in and the amount of investment in marketing money you would need to earn that, it's almost like you just break even. So yeah, man, it's almost like when I saw this image, it was a slap in the face. Like, where's the revenue going then? Where is it going? If they've earned 1.37 billion this year alone, but they're only paying out 0.0032 cents per stream, someone somewhere is getting paid. Obviously, it's going to be the shareholders. You know what I mean? The shareholders, and what they also say is that's what they pay out to the labels, not to the artists. So if you think the label gets their cut and then they pay the artists, there's a number of hands it's got to go through before it even gets to the artist. But the main thing for me is what I call vanity metrics. In this world of social media, people love vanity metrics. So what do I mean by that? So like likes, views, shares, comments, streams, these things are, it's a vanity metric, meaning that it's all about, look at me, look how many views my videos got, or look how many shares my post got when I share something on social media, look how many likes I've got. And we're living in a time now where people are consumed by these vanity metrics. Now, one thing I learned very quickly, you can't feed your kids with vanity metrics. You can't pay your mortgage with vanity metrics. You can't go to the petrol station and pay for your petrol with vanity metrics. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why they're called vanity metrics, because it's just vanity. It's just like, do you know what I mean? It's more about the look rather than the value. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like there's been a bait and switch. It feels like these streaming platforms and these social media platforms have baited people to come on the platform and then switched on them. So it's like, the value is placed in the vanity metric. The value is in the number of likes, the number of views, the number of shares. But those things don't equate to a monetary value in that sense. People place more weight on the like than the revenue generated by the like or the stream. It's pretty sad that we're more interested in the numbers rather than the revenue. I would challenge enough of these artists. So when you're gonna start seeing them a lot more in the next few weeks. You've probably seen a few anyway. I would challenge a lot of these independent artists, instead of showing your vanity metrics, show your revenue statement. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's see what you're really making. And not that I'm interested, but many of them, they wouldn't, because they know the numbers don't equate. I know the numbers don't equate. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of them, they will share the image showing, I got this many streams and I got this many listens. But if you know these numbers, you can do some maths and you can work out, well, that doesn't equate to a lot of revenue. So things need to change. Things need to change from the artist's point of view. And again, I understand my audience. I know who I'm speaking to. And I would say and I say this from personal experience. I'm not just making this up. This is from personal experience. Yeah. Again, if you've listened to the podcast previously, you will know that I've recently released my new project, Fire in My Soul, and I released it exclusively on Bandcamp. Now, I'm not saying Bandcamp is the best platform, but I tell you what, in terms of generating revenue, it's much better than all of these streaming platforms. So I've done some maths and I worked out in 1 week of releasing my project on Bandcamp, I saw a 564% increase in revenue in 1 week than I saw in the entire year that I had my music out on all the streaming platforms. So I made more in 1 week, 564% more in 1 week in comparison to all the time that my music was on these streaming platforms. So what that says to me is, if I'm interested in generating revenue from my music, if I'm interested in, having these revenue streams and being able to put back into the music, to buy new equipment and to invest in producing more content, then that's the better way to go. And I understand the other platforms, the streaming platforms, they're better for discovery. Like, it's likely more people who don't currently know about you may find out about you through these platforms. But again, there's a whole nother algorithm you've got to work with to make that work. So you've already got to kind of have some momentum to even get discovered on the platforms. But from a revenue point of view, you're better off going the alternative route and going direct to consumer, because you might not get the vanity metrics. You might not be able to say, I've had this many views, and people might not be able to see that you've had X amount of views and whatever else. But from a revenue point of view, you're earning a lot more going direct to consumer. So to wrap it up, I would say don't get deceived by the vanity metrics. Don't be deceived. They're just numbers. So look for alternative routes that work for you. What's going to give you the biggest return? And if it means sidestepping the streaming platforms, and again, I'm not boycotting them, I'm not against them. I'm just saying, what's the wiser business move for the artist? And for me, it's where I'm going to get the most revenue from. And at the moment, Bandcamp, like I said, that has been a better situation for me. Personal experience, that's been a better situation for me. And I've definitely seen a significant increase in the revenue earned from the same music I would put out on these platforms. So yeah, man, don't be deceived by vanity metrics.
I made it. Produced, I cooked up.
Okay, so something else that I was doing this week was revisiting older beats. So I was kind of tidying up things. So, just going through some folders where I save all my beats. And I just noticed, man, I got stuff everywhere, man. I got stuff everywhere. So I just started going through them. I just started finding some beats and thinking, oh, what's this? And open it up and listen to it. And, I'm going all the way back to 2016 when I first got the MPC. And what I found was, obviously, my production style and my production skills has improved significantly since 2016 to 2020. I listened back I played some beats and I was like, raw. Yeah, the sample, nice sample, good sample selection, nice chops. But the beats, don't like the drums, don't like the mix on it, don't like the arrangement. There was certain things where it's like, nah, it feels like it's a waste of a sample. So what it got me doing was where I didn't necessarily like the beat that I made, or I didn't feel like I was going to do anything with it, I'd save the sample, put it in that folder called sample pool, and then I'd just delete the beat and move on. And you see, when I started doing that, it felt liberating. Now, I know there's people who they'd never delete a beat because you just never know. To you, it might be, it's all right. Someone else, that might be like, that's exactly what I've been looking for. Like, yo, I need that beat right there. But then there's others where I just know, like, I wouldn't even play this to anyone. This is one of those beats that is part of a batch that got you to a certain beat. What I was doing was just, like I said, just going through, listening to them. And if I wasn't feeling it, like I said, just save the sample and delete the beat. Now, what I found was that gave me a folder full of sample material that I can then use going forward. So, off the back of that, I think I made probably about 3 beats yesterday from those samples, and a lot of them, it was almost like it was easier to make. The beats were easier to make. The process felt simplified. Like the first beat I made, the first time I used that sample, when I listened to it, like I think I over chopped it, I over flipped it. I was doing too much. Where now, because I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable with my production style, I've kind of calmed down a little bit. Before I was doing too much. I was overcooking it. Do you get what I'm saying? Where now it's like, yo, just that as it is. You know what I mean? Just get the sample, chop it up, lay it down. You know what I mean? Just put a little, whether it's a break or whatever, just balance everything out. And I just found like the sound I was getting, I was like, how did I not see that when I first used this sample? How did I overlook that? But that's the journey we got to go on. So I say all that to say, don't be scared to go back and revisit some of those older beats you've made, because there's probably some gold in there. You know what I mean? You found that sample for a reason. As much as you're going through and you're digging and doing what you're doing, you stopped on that sample for a reason, and you sampled that for a reason. It jumped out to you. Now the beat the final product might not have had much use, or might just be like, yeah, it's okay. But that sample still got some legs because it jumped out to you in the first place. So go back to it, revisit it. Like I said, if you got to save the sample and just delete the beats, then so be it. But don't be scared to revisit stuff that you've used previously. Because one thing you got to keep in mind is the people will only ever hear what you give them. So you could make 5 different versions of the same beat, or use the same sample and make 5 different beats from it. You could have one beat with a different snare and a different kick 5 times. Do you get what I'm saying? It's exactly the same beat, same layout, same arrangement, same sequence, but you've got one version with hard drums, one version with softer, probably lo-fi drums, one version with like minimal, no drums almost. Do you get what I'm saying? People will only ever hear the version you give them. So just take the time to experiment. Before, for me, I was always quick to just bang it out, and that's the beat. Where now it's like, okay, let's try it with a rim shot. Okay, now that don't really work. Let's try it with like a different kit. Let's pull the drums right down. All right, let's try it with just different variations. And again, a lot of the tracks that we hear in the mainstream, that's the process they've been through. Some of them, they've been through that process for like years. I've heard stories of, an artist doing an interview and they're talking about a hit song they've had, or, a big song they've had. And I will say, oh yeah, the producer sent me that beat 3 years ago, and they made that beat 3 years before they sent it to me. So straight away, it's already 6 years old. And then we got in the studio and we'd done this version, and then I had it sat down for 2 years. And then we tried it again with some different drums. Then we brought so-and-so in and he played on it. Then once we got to that stage, we went through the mixing process like 3-4 times. And you just think, wow, we just hear it as it is. All we know is what we know. We don't know the process it has been through for it to become what it is. So take your time, man. There's no rush. You haven't got to put things out immediately. I know sometimes I kind of push to say, yo, just put your stuff out, man. Just put it out. Yeah, man, if you've got it, put it out, as long as you're happy with it. But the headline is, don't be scared to go back and revisit some of them old samples you've got, some of the older beats you make, because you might find a new lease of life.
I made it. Produced, I cooked up.
All right, so Flip It Challenge 197. We have 12 entries this week. The sample, this is the sample, so it's just simply called Echo. And I felt like this is a bit of a cheat, This sample is like 9 minutes and 21 seconds long. So there's a ton of I mean, when I flipped through, I was like, I could probably make about, I don't know how many beats out of this. There's a ton of segments in there that you can pull out and make your beat from. But I'm going to play a quick snippet. As always, the sample will be found in the description. So again, if you're watching this on YouTube, samples in the description. If you're on any of the podcasting platforms, go and look in the description for this episode and you'll see a link to the sample. Again, I'm not going to play too much of it because of the copyright strikes, but here's a quick snippet.
The pad bank. The pad bank.
So you got like that organ sound that goes on for a while, then it comes into like some pianos.
The pad bank.
You know what I mean? So there's quite a lot in there. Then it kind of
The
changes
pad
again.
bank.
We've got some drums in there as well, some guitar. So yeah, anyway, I'm not playing too much of it. So if you want to check that out, links in the description. Go and check it out. Like I said, we've had 12 entries. 11 entries, sorry. So first up, we have Vanity Metrics, and this is called Iron Mike. So check this out.
The pad bank. The pad bank. The pad bank.
Alright, so that's my man Vanity Metrics. Big up yourself, my brother. Flavor has been very consistent this year, I have to say. That's one thing, when I was putting the playlist together for the winners of 2020, I began to see, like, a few people have kind of dominated these Flip It challenges. So yeah, Flavor always brings a consistent standard to the game, so big up yourself, man. Definitely more of a simplistic style to what you usually bring, but the same quality, same standard. All right, next up is my man Was. Big up yourself. Let's just pause that there. Yeah, man, big up Was. So again, definitely one of the original members of the Pad Bank. It's great to see you active. So this is called Haunt Your Dreams, and this is Was entry for the Flip It Challenge 197.
The pad bank. The pad bank. The pad bank.
Alright, so that's my man Cuz was. Bro, you definitely took it somewhere, man. You took it to film score mode. Yeah, man, I like that. Definitely like that. It reminded me of like a video game, or like I said, a film score or something. And he's even gone with the breakdown now. He even got the EDM build up in there. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Cuz was, man. Yeah, this one's ready. Definitely do something with this, brother. So nice entry, big up yourself. All right, so boy, the standard's pretty high already. Let's move on. Next up we have Morbin Min B. So, and this is his entry. It's called Echoing.
The pad bank. The pad bank.
Alright, so that's Morbin Min B. So one thing I will say with this is you've got like a bass line in the background, just following the pattern. It sounds slightly out of key. Now I know even just with the sample there, the pianos do sound slightly out of key. It sounds like that's actually the sample. But then the bass line at the back that you've kind of laid it with sounds slightly off key, man. So I'll just revisit that slightly. And I probably wanted to hear a little variation in the drum pattern as well. Maybe just on the transition. You know, at the end of every like 8 bars or 16 bars or so, a little transition in there. But yeah, man, decent effort. So big up yourself. So next up we have Sub Photic. So again, Sub has been consistent this year, man. Definitely saw his name popping up in a few of those on that list of the winners of 2020. So big up yourself, brother. So this is his entry, and it's called Warp.
The pad bank. The pad bank.
boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The standard is high this week. Big up Subphotic. Solid entry, my brother. Definitely a solid entry. That's right. You tell him. You tell him who it is. So yeah, man, listen, if you're locked in on YouTube, make sure to give us your feedback. You know what I mean? I want to hear what you guys think as well. It's always good to have another opinion. I certainly like this. And as I said, the standard is sounding pretty high, man. So that's Subphotic. And as always, you know, all of these producers, they've all got SoundClouds. You can go and find them. If you go to thepadbank.com and go to the Flip It Challenge, just find the number of the challenge related to this episode, and you'll be able to follow those producers there. And even in the description, so I'll put a link to each challenge in the description. So again, in YouTube, or if you're listening to this on any of those platforms, there'll be a link to the playlist for this playlist for each challenge. So you can just go over there, you can find the artist, the producer, and you can show them some love, man. Again, these guys are contributing, they're putting in the work each week. So show them some love, you know what I mean? All right, so next up we have the Archaeological Society of Crate Diggers. So I believe this is it might be a joint effort by a group of these guys. They've basically got a radio show over in the States, in Chicago. They've been supporting the podcast, well, not even the podcast, they've been supporting the Flip It Challenge. So basically, they also use the Padbank Flip It Challenge as part of their content for their radio show over in Chicago. So this is their entry. So again, I'm not sure if it's a single member of the group or if it's a team effort, but this is the Archaeological Society of Crate Diggers. Let's see what they bring to the table.
The Pad Bank. The Pad Bank.
Okay, so that's the Archaeological Society of Crate Diggers. Now, based on that name, I probably had high expectations. I was expecting like, like a breakbeat or something to be laid over there. But yeah, man, it's a decent effort. One thing I will say is it sounds a little like overly compressed. It sounds like, overly compressed, like muffled. I don't know whether that is because of the way it's been exported. You know, sometimes you export something as MP3 and it just sounds overly compressed. Quality's not quite there. So it might be an export issue. And also, just to say, the bass line's a little bit loud as well. In my headphones. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate your contribution, brothers. Again, keep up the good work. I'm sure we will find a way to co-work and support each other's endeavors. So yeah, man, that's the Archaeological Society of Crate Diggers. Go and check them out. I think they've got a Facebook page as well. Like I said, they've got the radio show, they've got the podcast over there in Chicago, and they've been supporting the Flip It Challenge and the Pad Bank for a while. All right, next up we have my fellow UK producer, Night Rider Beats, from over there in Nottingham. So big up yourself, my brother. Let's see what you bring to the table this week.
How would you like to hear a little music?
The Pad Bank.
Night Rider Beats.
The Pad Bank.
All right, so that's my man Night Rider Beats. You got yourself, my brethren. All right, so I'm gonna have to bring this one back because it's kind of short. It's like 1 minute 20. Okay, so again, the same feedback as the previous submission.
Are we ready?
It sounds overly compressed, man. Like when I'm listening to this now, and I don't know whether you can hear the same thing your side, but
Night Rider Beats.
it sounds like it's squashed. It sounds like it's being suppressed, and to me, it's over compression. Whether it's on your master output or whatever, I'm not sure. But your drums sound overly compressed, man. Also, I was going to say, with the drum pattern, your kicks sound a little bit rigid. So I would say try a version. So have the same beat, yeah, get the same beat, copy the sequence. If you're using an MPC, copy the sequence, and then delete your kick drums and play a variation or play a version of it. Same pattern. If you want to use the same pattern, that's all good. But play a version, turning your quantize off.
Night Rider Beats.
Because at the moment it sounds a little bit rigid. That little kick there, boom, that one, boom. It just sounds. I'm doing my hands like people who are watching or listening to this on just listen to the audio, like they can see me doing that with my hands. So if you're watching the video, you know what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, man, try it with just messing with your timing a little bit. You know what I mean? Turn your quantize off, try a version there. Again, duplicate the sequence, delete your drums, do another version by putting it on like 32, messing with the swing. It's like your drums need to loosen up a little bit, man. They sound a little bit tense. You know them ones, just a bit rigid. Wait, man, big up yourself. So next up we have Aviator Gang, B Has, and this is it's just called Flip It 197. So here we go. Aviator Gang, B Has. Let's go.
What else is new, Hasbro? What else is new, Hasbro?
A vanity case with toy cosmetics and beautiful accessories.
Hasbro makes great toys. It's fun to play with Hasbro, bro.
the Pad Bank.
Aviator Gang. B has. Don't do that again, please. All due respect, yeah, I was enjoying that. And then you brought in SWV acapella, and it wasn't working, man. And I that just reminded me. I think you've done a similar thing previously. I would say leave it alone, you know what I mean? Unless it's going to be bang on, hand in glove. You know me, man, hand in glove. It has to work. For you to use those acapellas and those samples, you know what I mean? It's got to work, man. It can't throw it off. It's got to work. And that one didn't work. But before that, like this beat, nothing wrong with this. Probably slap a little bit more, but you know what I mean. Can't really wrong it. But when that SWV sample came in, again, I thought to myself, have I leaned on something and pressed something? You know what I mean? Have I hit a wrong button over here on the mixer? It just sounded random. So yeah, man, don't. Sounds random, man. So yeah, I would say leave that alone. You know what I mean? Other than that, the beat was cool. The drums could probably slap a little bit more on that one, but the acapella just didn't work. So yeah, leave that alone, brother. But again, as always, appreciate the entry. Right, next up is Beats by Beats, and this is his entry, PB197, Beats by Beats. Let's go. Beats. I like them drum sounds, man. Drum sounds sound nice and gritty. I did notice in there, I don't know whether it's the chops or if it's the drum sounds, but I can hear like some spillage at the end. Yeah, I think it's your drums. There's like a little, if you to go back to the beat and solo your drums, there's like a little bit of spillage at the end. So you just need to just increase the decay time at the end of those drum sounds, or just go into the sample and then just move your end point back a little bit. It sounds like it's spilling over into the start of the next drum sound, how you've chopped it up. So you can hear a little bit of spillage in there. And it might seem like a minor thing, but if I can hear it, other people can hear it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, just tighten them sounds up. Yeah, man, Beats by Beats always gets busy, man, with the effects. You know what I mean? Like the post-production. So big up yourself, bro. All right, so next up, we've got entry number 9. So we're almost there. This is Rob Russ, and this is called Murky Shadows. So big up yourself, Rob Russ. Let's go.
The Pad Bank. The Pad Bank. The Pad Bank. The Pad Bank.
All right, so that's my man Rob Russ. It's a nice beat, man. Yeah, I like this. I like the movement. I like the variation in the sequence. I like that little chime in there you throw in there as well. I like that. If I had to be fussy and picky, the only thing I would say is I'm not a fan of the hi-hat sound that you've chosen. Other than that, like I said, I like the movement. I like the variation in the sequence. So yeah, man, Rob Russ, again, another consistent contributor this year. And always comes correct. So big up yourself, Rob Russ. Okay, so we've got 2 entries remaining. So next up, we have Dano Bravo Beats. And this is his entry. It's called Echo. Let's go.
The Pad Bank.
Man, Dano Bravo Beats. I really like this. Yeah, man, definitely. I like that. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, this is solid. This is ready to go. The only thing I didn't like was the little bridge section, that little switch you put in there. I felt like it kind of took away rather than added value. But yo, this probably, me personally, if I was mixing it, like this part here, okay, this part here. I didn't feel like it added value. But I get it. I get it, man, I get it. I could definitely hear someone smashing this up, you know what I mean? Definitely hear some MC just doing their thing on this. Again, the only thing I would do is I would probably spend a bit more time on the mix, getting things balanced. It sounds like the drums want to smack on that, but you know what I mean? They're kind of in the background a little bit, and then some of the percussion was a little bit louder than I would have placed it. But yeah, man, solid. So big up yourself. Right, the last entry is Unsondable. Now, I don't know if I'm assuming this is a new member because I haven't seen this name before. So big up yourself, Unsondable. And this is called TP or the Pad Bank Dano's Mood. So I don't know whether this is one of Dano's Dano Bravo Beats people, you know what I mean, one of his team members or whoever, or you know, I don't know, but he's basically named it after Dano Bravo Beats. That might be because I think Dano won last week and selected the sample, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is the last entry. This is Unsondable. Let's go.
The Pad Bank.
Okay, so that was Unsondable. So again, I believe he's a new member of the group, a new member of the Pad Bank community. So I appreciate your contribution, my brother. Big up yourself. And again, another solid entry, man. I like that bass line. I'll probably spend a little bit more time again on the mix. You know what I find sometimes is, and I know it's a hip hop thing, I always find like by default we go loud. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's certain elements in there where it's like it sounds to me like you mixed it loud and then you've pushed things up. You know what I mean? Like that hi-hat, that shell sound, you know, like shells dropping or coins or whatever. A lot of those things I would pull down in the mix. I would actually pull everything down. It just sounds like I could just envision everything just crunking in the red. You know what I mean? I would say pull everything down and then start balancing things out and keeping everything in the green. You see, when I'm mixing, I like to keep everything in the green and just touching the orange or the yellow, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But I don't like to see any red. And then once you go to your mastering stage from there, that's when you can start pushing things up. But try to keep things nice and balanced, man. But big up yourself, Unsondable. I appreciate the entry. So yeah, man, that's all of them for this week. So a very high standard this week. Again, I'm glad I don't need to do the judging. So based on the votes, the winner for Flip It Challenge 197 was Dano Bravo Beats. So big up yourself, my brother. Where's our round of applause gone? Hold on. Oh, there it is. 1 second. There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So there we go. Round of applause for Dano Bravo Beats. Big up yourself. So as always, let me run the beat actually while I'm talking. So this was the winning beat. As I say every week, if you've listened to all of those beats and you're sitting there thinking, I would have done this, I would have flipped it this way. Yeah, this was a just winner actually. I lie. Am I lying? Yeah, this one definitely well-deserved win. So yeah, man, if you're sitting there and thinking, yo, I would have flipped it differently, I would have done this, I would have done that. Yo, my beats are better than their beats and all that big talk. Then get yourself over to thepadbank.com. Thepadbank.com. Click on the community tab, join the community, and get involved, man. Next year, we're going big. Trust me. So yeah, man, big up yourself. Dano Bravo Beats on the win. Big up everyone for contributing. All the submissions. Salute to you all. You're all winners, man. I appreciate the consistency as well, man. So if you've enjoyed the show, just let me know. You know what I mean? Make sure to engage. If you're watching this on YouTube, as always, the offering plate's there. You know what I mean? Just drop a like, drop a subscribe, hit the notifications bell, all that YouTube stuff that you need to do. Leave me some feedback in the comments. And if you're listening to the audio only, then whichever audio platform you choose to consume this content on, again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. And leave me a little rating and a review, man. The offering plate is always available. So drop your little offering in there. Also, if you don't know, I do a live stream almost every Friday. I say almost because some Fridays I don't. But the majority of Friday evenings, you'll catch me on YouTube live streaming, where you'll get a over-the-shoulder view of my production process. So I'll just turn the camera on, turn on the equipment, and whatever I'm feeling, you guys get to experience it. So make sure you check that out. So again, if you're on YouTube, just hit the notifications bell. You'll get the notification when I go live. And like I said, most Fridays, usually around between 10 and 11 p.m. UK time. Because I know I've got an audience in the US, so I'll try to cater for everyone. So my UK heads, we stay up late, and my US heads, you get to catch it early evening. So that's it for this episode. Again, look out for the announcement about the Flip It Challenge 200. It's going to be a big one. We've got 2 more to do, and then we're there. It's on. So until next episode, appreciate you all. All the best. God bless. And take care. I'll see you in another episode of the Pad Bank.
I made it. I made it. I made it. I produced. I made it. I made it. I made it. Produced. I cooked up.